Hi everybody, I'm Tom Matuska and I'm here with Brett Wingfield, Maggie Swart, our camera crew. Welcome for joining, or thanks a lot for joining us for Thursday afternoon live. And today we're going to talk about turkeys.
So every Thursday we are going live at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you've missed our videos, no worries. You can always go back and rewatch them. So we've been doing it since December, and you can go back and watch any of them on our Facebook page, click on videos, and tune into them.
Now turkeys are a very daunting task, and we do enough turkeys that we have to come up with a system in order to make them go more smoothly. I do not have a long attention span. I have to break turkeys down into bite-sized pieces. I am not capable of taking a turkey from start to finish like Callie Morris and spending a day and having a turkey look beautiful. I have to bite them down or break them down into little pieces. So to begin with, skinning the turkey, there's several different ways to skin a turkey, and we kind of do them now the way we do most of our birds. You skin the turkey we're working with. Do you want to explain to them a little bit your method of skinning the turkey?
Sure, we just did a quick case skin. We went from leg to leg. If the drumstick portion was on the bird, this is the breast. The legs would be up from here. We just skin down the inside of each leg.
Like the
Straight
inseam?
across. Yep, right across the inseam, up the other. Ring around the foot, right where the feathers meet the skin, and the scaled area. And then we skin the bird out through that incision. It all comes out. It's very
They come out pretty nice. There's no pressure on the skin. You don't have to worry about tearing them. We do that, no matter what we do, whether we're doing a breast mount or anything. We usually skin the whole turkey. You can ring around the turkey and cut them out that way. There's lots of different turkey trophies. There's breast mounts. There's tail mounts. There's breast, feet, beard, and head, and you can add enough parts to a turkey breast mount to make it almost a life-size bird. But today specifically we're going to talk about life-size turkeys. And like Brett said, there's lots of different ways to skin a turkey. We've kind of settled on this way. They're easy to get the skin off, easy to flesh, and it's our method of putting them back together. So once Brett skinned out the turkey, he cut the knee joint and left the tibia with the scaled portion of the leg. Then that gave him, this one has some tendons out of it. Here's the scaled portion of the leg. Here's the tibia. We leave the femur with the carcass.
Yep.
And then turkeys have some pretty massive tendons. Most of your upland game birds have tendons in them. Here's the tendons from the turkey, and to remove them, we make a slit in the ball of the foot, and with an awl, reach in and pull these tendons out. Now it takes a little muscle and a little pull in, and they'll come out like this. This will enable you to make room for wires and plenty of room for injection fluid. Okay, so this is what we start with. Like I said, we break them down into pieces. The feet are one piece. Now also, we turn this heel inside out, and the skin is laying down there. He's nice and supple. This bird was in the freezer for a while, and he was quite freezer burnt, really dried up. We threw these in a bucket of water overnight while we worked on the hide and while we worked on the other parts of the bird, and it softened up. Then we also injected water under the skin to really soften them up.
Do you still have issues after you soften it up with the freezer burnt portion?
No, they come out of it pretty good. If they are freezer burn, there's things like Ultra Soft Relaxer you can mix with your water, or just water with even a little soap in it, and take a small syringe, something really small, because we're going to inject these feet and we don't want the injection fluid flowing all over the place. So you can inject them with any kind of, Ultra Soft mixed with water, or water mixed with soap, or plain old water, and they soften up really nice overnight.
Is there a way to prevent freezer burnt besides not leaving it in the freezer so long.
Don't let your work be in the freezer so long that the customer's been calling and calling. No, that just happens, and as taxidermists, you kind of learn to deal with it. It's a necessary evil. As busy as we get, we encounter freezer burn quite a bit.
Rick Dunlop says hi from West Virginia. Hi, Rick. Make sure you guys let us know where you're watching from, and also comment your questions. If you have any questions, these talented taxidermists will answer them for you to the best of their knowledge.
You want to explain what you did there?
Yeah, so this is just an example of how we started this. Now, Tom mentioned we took this, we separated it from the femur, the tibia from the femur, and the reason we did that is because the femur portion is included on the body.
Right, that would be right here.
Right there on the Anthony Eddy body and on Corey's new bodies.
It'd be right here.
It's right there. So that part is there. This is the only part we need to use this type style of body. In this case, we took a number 6 wire, very heavy wire, which will support him, and we ran that wire out through the bottom where we had taken the tendons out. We ran it up through the rest of the behind the skin, next to the bone, along the tibia, and then we wrapped it with just heavy bowstring, just to hold it tight. In this case, we bent a wire, and we would drill a hole up into the body
With a spade bit, right?
Yep. I've actually got the other side, but
Want me to do that?
yeah, we do it like that. And this would go up inside and would be bondoed into place.
And the reason we do that is there's a lot of different ways. People use threaded rods. I've had trouble with threaded rods before because threaded rods, you bend them a couple times and they can snap. And once your turkey's all in place and you want to get one little extra stance change and you bend them, I have broken them. I've gotten away from threaded rods, although they work really good for a lot of people. This is a number 6 gauge wire, which is extremely heavy wire, either annealed or galvanized. Yeah. It's very difficult to bend that wire like you would a teal or a pheasant, where you stick the wire through all the way through the body and double it over. I'm not strong enough to do that. Hence, like Brett said, we take a spade bit, determine where the leg's gonna go, drill a hole. When it's time to attach the legs, we fill it full of auto body putty, put the leg in, and we're good to go.
Now when we wrap this, we make sure and wrap it really tight. Some people will use wire ties or zip ties, I've seen that. We'll take a little bit of black electrical tape and wrap around that. And wrap that again. I think our strength here is in our thread, but we'll wrap over this to make it nice and smooth.
What kind of thread did you use?
That was kind of a wax cape thread, something heavy.
Cape thread, yeah.
It doesn't really matter on how heavy a string you use as long as you use enough wraps.
Yep.
You can use cheap cotton sewing thread, wrap it enough times, it's going to be strong, and once this is all together and auto body puttied in place, it's going to make a really strong foot.
And I'm one step ahead of us. Prior to doing this, we would have drilled a hole into the...
When I first started doing turkeys, I would do what I thought was a pretty nice looking turkey. And I would get it done, and all of a sudden it's drying and there's an odor, and can't quite figure out where the odor's coming from. These leg bones are full of marrow. They are loaded with marrow, and it will decompose pretty significantly, and then you get big strutting wings covering that where air can't get to it to dry it out, and you can get a really fragrant turkey mount. So what we do, we pull the tendons like this. Then I like to take I don't know, what would you say, that's maybe a 1/8 inch drill bit or so.
Almost, yep.
I put it in a Dremel, and the reason I use a drill bit in a Dremel is because the faster it spins, the less chance I have of breaking the bone. So I get it spinning pretty good, and we took this knee joint and trimmed it up on the bandsaw, so it's not a big bulbous knuckle. It's open on the end. I like to drill a small hole down here with the with the Dremel. And just go inside the bone. Oops, like that. Okay, I make a small hole like that. We have a little air nozzle with a rubber tip on it, you know, for spraying off your tabletops and things like that. By putting that rubber nozzle against that, put it in the wastebasket, you can remove, just give it a squirt of air and all of that marrow will blow out. We also do one in the tarsus part of the foot right here. I will also take my Dremel, go up, and you're a little bit blind up in here. You feel for where
your finger
straight
is.
bone comes down, get it spinning, and you guide that bit with your fingers into that bone, and then I will take the rubber nozzle up here. It's really important to get that marrow out. If you've ever had trouble with odors, it's coming from one of two places. It's coming from your marrow in your legs, or it's coming from meat in your wings. You know, that's the two places it'll come from.
And they'll recognize that marrow. It's a golden fluid, different than water. It's kind of a golden color.
James Morrison wants to know what kind of fish this is.
Turkey fish. Turkey fish. Okay, now once we get, once we get through, we'd have normally a little bit of more wire in here, and it would determine what the base is and what the pose is we're going to do with it. We'd even do this for flying turkey. Do the same thing. At this point, I like to sew up the incision that I made in the bottom of the foot where the wire comes out. Now, if you want a standing or a walking bird, run that wire down the center toe, and you can actually give him some stance and be, you know, some motion and have that wire hid pretty good. Just remember, 6-gauge wire is not easy to bend. Okay, once I sew that up, I usually will put some super glue on it. As the super glue dries, I kind of texture it with a towel, so that should seal that up really good. Up on the top, I will rebuild any tissue. Now, we took this leg bone on the bird flesher and we cleaned all the meat off of it and all the tissue off of it. We cleaned that bone up really good. We cleaned the ankle joint up really well. And now I rebuild all of this with epoxy sculpt. Bring the skin back up onto the epoxy sculpt and press it into place as it dries. And that epoxy sculpt's a little bit of adhesive, and it will hold all of that skin up there. Then we wrapped him in water in a towel overnight in the pose that we wanted. The next day we came in and I super glue around that seam just so nothing can break loose. And then it's time to inject them. I usually do it the next day because I want this foot sealed up really, really well. To inject him, we showed you a little bit on, what did we inject? A pheasant a while back?
A pheasant, yeah.
And to inject them, I have fought injecting feet forever to where I had to come up with some kind of a method. So I'm going to take 10 or 20 gauge needle or syringe, something like this. And I'm going to take an 18 gauge needle.
We have Lance Criswell from Texas, Charlie Walker from Michigan, Blake Gonery from Wisconsin. Hey guys, we love that you're joining us today. Comment your questions if you have any, and we'll answer them as we keep going.
Okay, now I have tried injecting. I've taken insulin syringes. I've taken every kind of needle there is combination. I've tried injecting, and I usually go through 4 or 5 needles to inject feet, and it gets to be kind of expensive. I finally discovered that if I take the feet, I've got a 12 gauge needle and a 18 gauge or 12 gauge syringe, 18 gauge needle. The first thing I like to do is inject air, and I will slide the needle up alongside the toenail Now, if you blew the marrow out,
Real
often...
quick, can I show people something?
Sure.
For this close-up, guys, that you're watching, if you look at your live feed and you want to get rid of the comments because of the, so you can see the detail, just swipe. So you swipe right, gone, left, it's back. So that way you can see all the comments. So just swipe to the side and you can get a better visual of what he's doing here on the close-up.
Fancy.
Sorry.
I've heard that before and I still learn.
I know, well, I go the wrong way every time I show him.
Now, if you blew the marrow out, a lot of times as you're blowing, air will travel down through there. Yesterday when I did the set of feet we're working on today, not these, I saw air go all the way down the toes. You want to create a space for the injection fluid to go. I like to take a needle like this, stick it alongside the toenail, and if you saw that, air traveled all the way up the foot. I do that to each toe. If I think that my blowing out the marrow probably did that, I still want to make a small hole on each side of the toenail. I can do that with my needle, I can do it with a glover's needle, I can do it with anything. I would like to have a port where my injection fluid can escape. Other than that, this whole leg is sealed up. There's two types of injection fluid we use around here, I think. Fantasticast, natural. Now the natural sets up pretty darn quick. As well as we now carry Master's Blend. A lot of you are real familiar with Master's Blend. To me, they're very, very similar products. I can't really tell the difference when I'm using them. They both have very similar traits. Both set up way too fast. They set up in 5 needles and syringes worth. So we've discovered, I guess I didn't think of this, somebody told me, put that in the freezer. Put these two components in the freezer and they won't freeze, they'll stay just like this. They don't even thicken, they'll stay really nice and thin. But by cooling that temperature down, you're gonna get an extra 5 minutes.
Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk? Somebody smarter than me. So, equal parts, A and B. I put them in a little paper cup. I like to put about 10% lacquer thinner in with them, which is gonna thin it and make it go in really smoothly. At which point I get them mixed, I take the needle off, and it's very handy. We have these needles that the syringes that the needles screw on through the plastic collar.
Don't try it without.
That's necessary because as you're putting pressure on with that Master's Blender, that Fantasticast, it will blow all over your plumage, all over your face, all over your clothes. Once it's all mixed up, I suck up my injection fluid in the syringe. I screw the needle on, and I used to always go up each toe. Now, instead, I have little ports down here, and I stick it up under here, and I start injecting, and I will start seeing it come out, each of the little holes. The holes that it's coming out are much smaller than the amount that I'm putting in, and you can feel it start to gel as it's going through the needle, and as soon as it gels in here, you also know it's gelling in here, and once it gels, it can't get out that needle. So your back pressure from your small holes really plumps up your feet really well. Try it on, ducks, pheasants, turkeys, works great. How much time do they have once we inject those, do you figure, to pose your bird?
To pose the bird, an hour, maybe a little bit more.
You have plenty of time to pose your bird.
Do you have longer if you do the freezer trick?
Maybe.
A little bit, yeah.
So we kind of you want to have this thought out. So you have whatever your bird's going to be going on. You want to have a body, and we always test fit these bodies. We didn't mention that, but you might want to do that. Don't go to all the work to bond your legs on and get the head on and tail on and everything, only to have your bird not fit your body. Once you know your body fits, and that's the bird that you're going to use. We had a pose that we're going to match for a customer, and this is actually a strutting pose on a limb for the wall. Some of you are going to say turkeys don't strut on the roost.
That's what he wanted.
That's what they wanted, and we've had live turkeys around here, and we've had our turkeys, strut out on their little branch too. Yeah.
And Tom Tom.
So once, another thing we did with the turkey we set up here, these are Anthony Eddy drumsticks, and they're made of soft, flexible foam.
Those are real handy.
You can build up your drumstick with Excelsior, you can wrap them, you can critter clay them if you wanted, you could do anything, but these are really nice to just slip on. So, for the time being, and we will do the loop on this, but for right now, we just drilled a hole right up through the back to put this bird on temporary so we could get his stance ready. We wanted to check his balance. The balance on this is pretty good. Here's where the epoxy scope, where we built it up yesterday. And then his feet were injected. We adjust the bend in his ankles and the location of the knee and stuck it on here and got the body at the angle we want. Now, these feet will dry like that. And another thing with birds, it's very interesting. For years and years and years, every bird that sat in a tree, I always wanted to wrap their feet around it because they have to hang on, don't they? No, they don't. They're very good at balancing on a branch. We've had enough live birds around here. They can stand with their toes off. They do not have to grip on, and it's a little bit unnatural when they latch on. These aren't robins, you know, we have peacocks, we have turkeys, and they're kind of
I see these. Ralphie used to always attack me. If I turned my back to Ralphie, he was attacking.
We used to have a real tame tom turkey that was in here all the time.
He'd be so mad when I left, and if I turned my back, he'd just come after me.
Okay, tell us, Brett, tell us more about what we did. We got the feet on. Now, once we decide that's good, when we put them together, the feet will pull right off, and we will bond them in permanently.
Before we do that, we can pre-paint them so that they're all ready to go.
Good point.
We don't have to paint around feathers.
That's a big advantage of taking your feet off. We do this for pheasants, we do it for ducks, we do it for everything.
So you paint it set up like that?
Sure.
Yeah, we can paint it like this, and the same thing for the head. That's the nice part about doing the head separate too, is we can paint the head separately.
Isn't this your favorite wash brush for feet?
This was Corey Carruthers and Mike Nikelski tip. Once the foot is painted, like, for instance, a wood duck, if you paint a wood duck a nice kind of a mellow ochre yellow, it looks really good, but not quite good enough. These boys take mineral stain, like for instance, maybe a golden oak or something with a little golden color in it. Thin it down with mineral spirits. This, we call it a wash brush. I'm not sure what it's for. It's a makeup brush, isn't it?
Yeah.
We call it a wash brush, but you dip it in that really thinned down oil-based stain and swab it right over your foot. And it's just, if you remember when you were little kids, how you stuck your hand in a mud puddle and pulled it out and the dirty water just outlined all your pores. Same thing, you know, and it really sharpens up birds and adds a lifelike dimension.
Yeah.
Wash brush.
The other part of that we haven't talked about is the tail. Should we talk about the tail?
We did not.
We removed the tail. That's another one of the pieces and parts that we took off of this bird. The tail was set up in our reference picture. We had pretty much a strutting pose. We were kind of on the fence between 3/4 and a full strut. We took the tail off. We cleaned off the bases of the quills. We set it all up and posed it on a board, on a drying board, which we have somewhere. They're just an arced board that we make here in the shop. It's just kind of handy to give it a little bit of shape so it's not board flat. Just like that, you can make those really simple. And we put it on here, spread it out evenly, taped it down, and then we put Bondo on it.
We'll have this in the catalog next year, right? No, the board.
And we also bondoed in a wire, a heavy wire that we'll use to plug in on the.
And we just pre-drilled some holes back here.
My bad.
So that's handy too. And we can take this out. We can pull it out of the way when we're working on the feet, when we're working on the head, and it's not in our way.
And it gives you an idea of what the pose of the bird's going to be.
If it wasn't a full strut, if we had gone to the 3/4, we have the
fortune tailor.
Yeah, we have the fortune tailor. This is pretty cool.
Andy Campbell's came up with that.
Yeah, it didn't quite match the photo that we had, but this works really good to give a shingled pose, somewhat of a shingled.
Yeah, there's directions with it, and you put the quills on a couple little 2x4 base, and you put each feather into its respective slot.
He has 3 different styles of turkey, and then he also has a pheasant one.
They work really good. They work exceptional.
Pretty cool.
This one was a little bit arched a little bit more than what the customer wanted.
Yeah.
So preening the feathers and aligning them, what's your go-to for that? Or just...
You go, Mr. Priest.
No.
Patience.
Yeah, definitely. Once we get the skin in place, I think the biggest part of preening is preparing the skin and washing the feathers, getting it good and washed, good and dry. We take them through all of their baths and dry them really well, and then you should have pretty good skin alignment, and preening goes pretty easy.
And what kind of baths do you use?
That's a great question. So we would use our first bath, no matter what we do, is a cold water bath, and that's to release and remove any blood. You'll
just
have
cold water, or you add stuff?
Nope. The first bath is just cold water to make sure and get all the blood out of the plumage. The next bath we would do after that, after we flesh, would be a warm water bath. And we're going to start removing some of the grease. We would add Dawn, typically just a little bit of Dawn.
We sell a lot of
degreasers.
Good degreasers, but we use a lot of Dawn.
And then wash it. Wash it until all through the fleshing process, as many washes as you think you need, and then what, 3 more?
Sure, yeah, and especially rinses.
Yeah, and then go through the rinse. Then clear water rinse after Dawn. We'll rinse it clean.
And when it comes to fleshing, a lot of people use power washers for fleshing machine, or as a flesher. Power washer in the right hands is an exceptional nice tool for fleshing a turkey. You're going to want to have a bird or 2 to practice on. When it works really good. It'll get your turkey skin cleaner than any other method. We a lot of times use the regular box flesher to clean them. You want to get those quills free from all fat and tissue and meat. Get them as clean as you can get them. I think with any bird, my philosophy is moist skin, dry plumage. Once you're completely dried, I think Mandy, you had a question on tumblers. We never use a tumbler. We take the bird skin, whether it's a pheasant or a turkey, and we take them through the final rinse. We want our rinse water crystal clear. We want no suds, no bubbles or anything in our rinse water. Then we towel dry them, just press them between a towel, and then we like to put them in a lacquer thinner bath. Some people use mineral spirit, some people use acetone, Coleman fuel, things like that. Be careful if you're using a solvent, which lacquer thinner is. We put them in a lacquer thinner bath, which does 2 things. It removes any of the oils and grease that the baths didn't get out, and then it also displaces the water, so they dry way faster. Once they're out of and I suppose we leave them in there, 5-10 minutes at the most.
And we do them outside.
And we do them outside. We take that turkey skin out of there, hang it over the railing for a couple minutes, put it between a nice clean towel, and absorb as much lacquer thinner as we can. Then we put them into a tub of powdered borax, not granular borax like you get in the grocery store, but powdered borax. And you can fluff a turkey ready to mount, most beautiful bird ever, in less than 10 minutes. It's quicker than a tumbler for us. And we get them really, really gorgeous plumage. Dry, fluffed plumage, moist skin.
Then we would blow that borax out.
Yep, all the borax will blow out. Yep.
with the vacuum turned over on both.
Okay, tell us about the head.
This is a pre-painted Anthony Eddy head. We use a reproduction head on our turkeys. We've used freeze-dried heads in the past, but have really good luck with the reproductions. We can make them look pretty nice. This is right out of the package.
Yeah, right out of the package.
They come with a great start. Yep. Otherwise, they're available in
Painted and unpainted.
And they come in flying, strutting,
Full strut,
walking.
half strut.
Yep.
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 And you can custom paint them yourself or get them already painted.
You can get them already painted and custom paint them if you'd like.
Sure.
And we've got some pretty cool stuff that Mandy, being
New product.
always aware, has heard the call for these pan pastels. I've heard it in the fish world a lot. I haven't had a whole bunch of time to play with them, but we did just a little bit over the last few days, and it's pretty impressive. This stuff goes on really easy. If you're not familiar with the pan pastels or any other pastels, they're a chalk, and they come in a wide variety of colors. We got some sample colors here. This one here, just a bright red. And if we wanted to customize this pre-painted head, we could use just a little bit of this chalk. Everybody, I think one of the biggest questions we get is about airbrush and airbrush control. And painting fine detail on a turkey, if you've done much of it, man, it is a challenge. If you look at this really close, these high spots typically have some more color to them. And I'm just gonna add just a little brightness to a few of these. I'll do some of them that haven't been painted. Here's a line that hasn't been painted. And it colors really, really well. Here's another one.
I want to see.
I'm using the micro applicator, just these little microfiber applicators that we carry. And it seems to work really good. I also used a Q-tip the other day. The Q-tip worked really well too. A little for some of the bigger areas. So we'll do some of that. Of course, priority number one here is reference pictures.
Now most people probably can't get their airbrushes dialed in that good.
Exactly. And I think that's where this is going to be a real advantage to taxidermists trying to do some subtle details. The nice thing is this is really soft. Goes on really easy. We would seal this. If I wanted to do just a little bit here, I'm going to touch that and just blend it out. You can see in this area we have some real intense reds, and then we have some little bit softer red. And I'll go up here and we'll just add some. You can see there's just a little bit of red up through here. I'm gonna add some and bring that red back here.
So you're taking an Anthony Eddy painted head that is already very good, and you're adding more detail
Just a little subtle detail to customize it.
with our new pan pastel colors.
Yeah.
And then you would seal this probably with
Yeah, I would use a matte sealer.
matte
just our-
sealer, like the Krylon matte.
Yep. And it works, seems to be going on very, very well. Another nice little trick to use is the white. And I really like to do this with fish. I'll do it with our game heads. At the very end, I will do it through an airbrush, but as I was playing earlier, I found that using the white in some of these more harsh areas just gives us a nicer, softer blend.
You don't smoke, do you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, why?
Well, you flip that little applicator like you've done that before.
Wow, now my mom's gonna write in. Mom, I don't smoke, I swear. Thanks, Tom.
So these are available. The pan pastels are now available online. They're $6.95, and we carry them right now in 5 different colors, and we will soon have them in
We've
other.
already been talking about some fish applications and some kits, and
Look at how vibrant those colors are.
they are, and they go on nice and vibrant. they'll soften down easily, but they go on really nice. So if you haven't used them, give them a try. I think they're a great tool to have in your box. We've got all kinds of different tools for applying color, and these dry applications go on really well.
So those of you who are afraid of turkeys, haven't had a lot of turkey experience, or sometimes those of you who have struggled with turkeys in the past, we haven't done anything that you can't do. We did the feet.
Right.
Anybody can do the feet,
Yep.
and it's not. There's nothing you can really do wrong. You might have, you have a little oops here and there, but anybody can do the feet. The tail, most of you have done turkey tails for customers.
Sure.
The only thing we're doing is adding a wire to go into the body. The heads are all ready to go. You can buy them that way. You can get a freeze-dried head, or you can customize them like Brett's doing. Now, half of the turkey's done. The feet are done, the tail's done, the head's done. All that's left is the body.
A little bit of preening and a little bit of latex caulk.
Mandy had a question yesterday. Somebody said they heard that we fill the birds with 100% silicone.
Oh.
And I think what they meant was silicone caulk, 100% silicone caulk. That's what it says on the tube. I've been to different seminars where people put as many as 6 tubes of caulk into their bird as a glue. I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
We will oftentimes do 3 maybe.
On a strutting bird?
Yeah, on a strutting bird. Another thing we didn't talk about is wings. We leave the entire skeletal portion of the wing together. We will usually trim up the shoulder bone just a little bit on the end of the humerus so it's not so bulbous. On Corey's bodies, the big bone fits in here, the knuckle fits in here really nice. But we have found we can get our turkeys much cleaner if we actually cut them on the underside of the wing, especially for a strutting or a standing bird, because we talked about smells on the feet. You'll also have smells if you don't get the hand skinned out on the turkey wing also. So make sure that you clean that out. I don't like turning them inside out because I lose my spacing on my secondary feathers. So we tend to cut them all the way on the underside between the radius and the ulna and down through the hand and get all of that meat out of there really well.
And we would do that whether it was a life-size bird or some of the other parted out mounts that go on the wall, the breast and wings, kind of common for customers, but we would do that too.
What else you got? Well,
We probably have a giveaway from last week.
we do have a giveaway that we'll mention at the very end. I did want to say a welcome to Shirley. She had to turn her computer off twice to get on here. And then you have Kimberly from Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
And, we were talking reference earlier, which I find reference, but nothing's better than a live reference. Jeremy Lee says he has a tom and a hen, loves taking pictures of them and posting them to taxidermy pages when he looks like a mounted bird, and listen to people tell him that he painted the head wrong and the feathers aren't right.
Yes.
That's what you're going to get on those pages, that's for sure. Ron Hawkins wants to know, do you sew the back together from whatever you're just talking about of it? Do you sew the back together?
Sewing back together maybe?
Yeah, I bet that's what it's saying.
Typically we sew the incision.
Sew that back together.
Whether it's the underside of the wing or the main incision that we case skinned him through, we would sew that.
And we use a lot of, when we talked about caulk as a skin glue, all of these back feathers, they're up against a hard form and they will not lay up by themselves, they will want to lay down. A lot of people hang their birds upside down, to dry them. We like to put caulk, like we said. This is silicone. It's a water-based caulk with silicone added. And to get to places that you can't reach, we'll actually take a plastic tube on here and make an extension and then stick a T-pin through there and snip it off, and that way your tube won't pull off. We used to use white all the time, and it works really, really good until you get it on the feathers. And we found that clear, if you accidentally get clear on your feathers, it won't show.
A little more forgiving.
But we will put half a tube of caulk in this side of the breast, half a tube over here. I like it on the wing pockets, and we like a nice patty of caulk on the back, probably a strong 1/4 inch thick, which will allow those feathers to hold their position. The caulk does not seem to work for the first day. The skin has to dry, the caulk has to firm up a little bit. Your results aren't going to impress you. You're gonna say, I thought this caulk thing worked, and the feathers lay down. Next day, you're gonna stand them up and you're gonna move them. You had that preening tweezers. What happened to those? These are the greatest things ever for turkeys for me.
Turkeys, yeah.
We use them on all birds, but I mean, you got big old fingers in there trying to move feathers, it's hard. These, you can grab a feather, you can pull it over, you can adjust it.
We sell them in an 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch.
These are handy.
We had a question on which pan pastels we're carrying, which colors. We are carrying 5: turquoise, phthalo blue, permanent red, titanium white, and ultramarine blue. And with our new products and the products that the guys are mentioning here today that we're talking about, if you look right above you when you get done with the live video, we have put quick links there, and you can click right on it. It'll take you to the website. So you can check them all out on there. And they're also under, these would be new products on the website at www.matuskataxidermy.com.
And we'll have lots of fish colors coming up.
Yeah, look for more.
And deer, yep, we'll carry a whole bunch.
We have another question. Could you give an example of how you apply the caulk, where you apply it, and how much?
I would, once the skin is on, I will usually super glue around the legs, around the scale portion of the leg. My head has not been put on yet. My head is laying somewhere safe. My tail is laying somewhere safe. So I'm going to draw on this really nice, pretty bird. This is also something handy also. On your turkey, I don't know if I can say this, they have cleavage. By putting a row of T-pins right down the center of your bird and forcing your skin tight to that breastbone, you've divided the right side of his breast from the left side of his breast. When it comes to putting in caulk, I'm going to have my neck tube up here. I will have a little extension on here. I will stick it down in, get a little help, have somebody run the caulk gun, and you're going to put, you're going to feel. You want a loose skin. You do not want a tight-fitting bird, also is kind of important. You don't want it so tight that you can't get caulk in there. I like to, when I test fit the bird, be able to get my hands in there. There's some looseness. I'll put probably a half a tube over here, and that will depend on how tight my skin is. If I have room for more, I can put more. I will put a half a tube over here. Now what you just did is you created a beautiful tuck in here where those feathers just kind of roll around. Then I like to wing pockets. The wing pockets come up. If the bird is at rest, they cover part of the wing. Like on your waterfowl, the wings are tucked way down in. I like to put a considerable amount of caulk right here. And if you ever want to make a really strong bird, if you ever have to ship them somewhere and you're worried about something breaking, don't be afraid to caulk the leg union and the joint where the legs are. I do that on each side. A visitor again.
Hi, Queenie. Can you say hi?
Start the show.
And
Wait,
then my
hi.
last spot is up on the back, and this is what's going to give that shelved look on those back feathers. And I'll probably put, maybe as much as, I suppose I have a tube here, maybe a tube here, and most of a tube up there. I might have about three tubes or so.
When you gave the last bird seminar to students, you mentioned that you had heard heard from somebody the term radiuses, and I think that's pretty
That was
applies to turkeys.
That was a David Luke seminar that I went to when we used to chisel our forms out of granite. And David Luke talked about radiuses. Birds are made up of radiuses. And I mean, I was a new taxidermist, and it was Greek to me. I had no idea what he was talking about. 40 years later, I realized what he was trying to say was all these feather groups are nice and rounded groups. The left side of the breast is a nice radius or arc into the center. The right side is a nice radius arc. The wing pockets are a nice radius arc. The back is a nice radius arc. And if you think of your bird in a whole bunch of feather groups that make nice, soft, rounded areas, you start picking those feather groups out and can make them look very nice.
Do you silicone in the wings to make the feathers on the radius and ulna scallop?
We usually build up the radius and the ulna with something. Caulk is fine, just so the caulk can't ooze out through your seam. Caulk is good. A lot of times we use clay, like critter clay. Fill them with something so they're not just bone on skin.
Basically, put back what you took out.
Jesse Wells says, you guys seem awesome. I really want to go to your school. Do it, Jesse. Call us. 1-800-488-3256. And we will help get you started.
We are graduating the second class of 2018 this week.
And Kurt McGrath says, if anyone watching this is thinking about attending Matuska Taxidermy School, pull the trigger. This is the best school I've ever attended. Great school and training. Thanks, Kurt.
Kurt McGrath was a good student, and we see him at shows, and
he's a fun guy.
Has been competing ever since he got out of school, I think.
I feel like right away he did.
Yeah.
Shows, yeah.
Whether it's when he's not fishing muskies or something like that. And we've got a couple veterans that graduated this week.
Yes.
And congratulations to them.
So we also have a alumni class that we do too, and it's an advanced taxidermy. So if you've already done class anywhere, we teach in advance, and it's basically a competition level 9-week course, and you can come and just take your skills to the next level. It might be open mouths or what was the backpack one they did? That was cool. I mean, just unique stuff that you don't.
David McLean did a lot of really neat stuff.
Very cool
and
stuff.
This is the advanced class. He did a backpack deer that I just scratched my head and looked at this and thought, I'm not sure about that. And it's a backpack that he made with a deer that he harvested. Looks like he's packing it out. It's really an exceptional amount. Today he's working on a rooster fish. Fiberglass reproduction. That's going to be beautiful.
What's nice about our advanced class though too is it's VA approved as well. So if you want to come and VA approved, that was the original 9-week courses and the advanced. So you technically could have 18 weeks of classes paid through the VA, which is really cool. But side note, sign up right away. Give us a call.
Already taking applications for 2019.
Yep, we are.
And I think there's talk of a fish course this summer. We've talked about it.
Brett.
Never happens.
Yeah.
Never happens.
Brett.
Vicky just talked to me today, and we are looking to do one.
Rob Levy, Mandy, any updates on the cool red shirts and how much does a person have to buy to get a king size candy bar? Ooh, that's a good question. I did do those once upon a time for orders. T-shirts, Rob, we placed an order today. They should be going for you. Another thing is these are taxidermy shirts, and on the back, taxidermy, Greek word for taxi to move, derma, a skin, the art of preserving and preparing the skin of animals with lifelike effect for the purpose of education, display, or study. Awesome shirts to go out there and explain to people
How
what
come you
it is.
two correlate your wardrobe and I get left out?
I wore this.
Wear one of these shirts.
I wore this all day. But anyway, give us a call. The t-shirts are about $20. They're online. We're placing another order for these ones, so let us know if you want one. The red ones, Rob, I will let you know, I promise, as soon as they come in.
And we've got Competitor's Choice t-shirts. We've got Fish on Fish Forms t-shirts. We've got Corey's avian products, avian art products, t-shirts, and bears.
John Block, this is a fortune tailor. You can go rewind after we're done, and the guys were talking about it earlier in the video. Tell you all about it. We sell it in 3 different poses and a pheasant one as well. It's from Andy Campbell. We have a giveaway from last week to give out, and that, who was that? My sticky note's gone.
Oh no.
Steven or Stefan?
It was a weird name. But last week we gave away, we did a piranha knife. Of course
And somebody won it.
And
Somebody won it.
Congratulations, Stephen.
Even somebody.
I'll post it afterwards because I don't know where my sticky went. One of the things we do carry is reference pictures because reference is so important. We do have 2 CDs, 2 different ones. This one has 63 different high-res, awesome pictures. We have a lot of 8x10s from, this would be Ralphie or, put them in there good.
Yes, we did.
Ralphie or Tom Tom, but they're really good high-res pictures. You can order them online or call us up.
And we've always had turkeys around here, pet turkeys, and we gave some eggs to Mandy's Uncle Tom, and he hatched one he named Ralphie. And Ralphie rode on his shoulder in the car, driving down the highway until he couldn't fit anymore between the top of the roof of the car and Uncle Tom's shoulder.
Really?
Yeah, and then he gave him to us.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a really good one. Stephen Jacredi is the winner of the piranha knife. So Jacquard. I can't read your writing. So Stephen, let us know your address and we will get this sent to you. Message us. This week we are going to be giving away. Walnut Hollow has some pretty awesome bases. This is one heavy duty base. But we are going to be giving away this gorgeous thick walnut base. The inside has a 1/4 inch recess. And it's heavy duty. We do have a rock that fits inside as well that you could order, but it's already ready to go for you. So that's going to be the giveaway. So what you have to do for that is you have to like our video. So show Tom the bubbles. Let's see all those bubbles.
This is about the perfect size
Hearts.
for a turkey.
It is a perfect size for a turkey. Look at that. Is that upside down?
Nope.
No. You better
Okay.
sign up for the advanced course.
Make sure you hit the like button. You can slide over and give some hearts. Stay away from that angry face. And then don't forget to share, guys. You must share the video in order to be in the winning for the knife or the panel that we're giving away. And then also tag a friend. Gotta tag a friend. You tag a friend @ Brett Wingfield, @ Tom Matuska, and you are in for this.
And when's that? When do they win? When does it come?
Well, next week, you guys are doing, you and Vicky are going to, my mom, are going to the UTA Oklahoma show. And where's that at in Oklahoma?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
No, it's not.
Where is it?
Can't remember. But
Oh, she doesn't. I think it is.
I do.
But anyway, the professional and the masters competitors award will be there
Sure.
for you guys to go to. And I just sent it to Indiana and Alabama as well. So be looking for those there.
Midwest
Very
City.
exciting.
Midwest City, she was right.
That's a very sought after trophy anymore, and
Yep.
it's very. It takes a lot of dedication to win that. You have to enter 4 things, scoring
things.
a total of
380.
350, I think it is.
Minimum.
A minimum score of 350. That takes some high-end work.
It does. It does. And we hear over and over again, people are entering 4 pieces just for that category.
If
It's
you win
pretty
the
exciting.
Eagle, if you win the competitor's Eagle, you know your stuff.
We have some crazy sales going on, guys, and we're gonna tell you about them right now. 20% off all your turkey stuff. That means your bodies, your turkey breasts, your drum legs, your wires, your
Drum
preening
head.
tweezers, I don't know,
Drumstick.
drumstick, your turkey heads, your
All of our panels.
all of our
Faces,
walnut hollow
Fortune tellers?
turkey panels.
Yes.
You name it, it's 20% off, so make sure you go on. There is a spot on our website that says turkey products. It makes it very easy to get stuff, but of course you can go look for other things.
And they've got to do the promo code.
Promo code at checkout. This is your giveaway. So it kind of shows you. There is Jim Kimball mounted this little guy on it. That's one of our pre-bases that will fit right in that base. So we'll announce that next week. That $500 giveaway for supplies, like, share, and tag any of our stuff, and we will put you in the drawing for the $500 towards supplies. And then our Havlon knives are still going on. The sale is awesome. You guys are not going to find these knives this price anywhere else. We got a special deal from the vendor. Havlon's working with us, and this is as cheap as it's going to get. So Father's Day, 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Father's Day, 2 weeks. Oh my gosh.
Don't forget.
Everyone's
Your
tagging
father might be.
You got to take a friend, people. Take a friend. Not Tommy
Hey,
Brett.
they're
Those
all
are
our
examples. A friend besides them. That's fine. We are going to, with our first 6 people that do the turkey sale for the, I don't know, we could probably do the first 6. We're going to give away some 4x6 reference photos. And then also, I suppose we could do the 10 after that, the preening tweezers.
Sure.
So make sure you use the code online, and we'll throw in for the first 15 either a set of 12 reference photos or one of our preening tweezers. So comment in there and we'll get those out for you.
Wow.
What else do we have? That's a lot.
That is
That
a
was
lot.
a lot.
That is a
Yeah,
lot.
we covered a lot.
Next week they'll be walking around live Thursday at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. My mom Vicky will be walking around. You're judging at the UTA show. So you are judging Clinton Ricky, Dwayne Dewey, Mike Mikulski. That's a fun group right there.
That is a fun
That
group.
is a fun group.
Fun group.
Fun.
So we'll walk around, we'll show you all the mounts, kind of talk to the judges, get their tips and tricks. So make sure you tune into that. Again, you can catch us. All of our videos are on our Facebook page. You can go rewatch them. Remember to like, share, tag a friend in them for your chance to win this base here. And every week, 4:30 p.m. Central Time, we are live.
Except next week be a little bit.
A little late next week,
Just,
yes.
yeah.
So we'll send out a notice about that. But thanks for tuning in, you guys. Call us 1-800-488-3256 or visit us online at www.matuskataxidermy.com. Give us a call and we will help walk you through anything as well.
And don't be afraid of turkeys. Break them down into little pieces, little jobs that you can do with ease. Don't be overwhelmed by the whole bird. Break them down. Anybody can do a tail, anybody can do a leg, anybody can do 2 legs, anybody can do a head. You're half done.
Give us your best turkey call.
Your
And
brother,
it with the
did you
turkey
hear your
call.
brother doing the turkey call on the golf course the other day?
No, I did it with Quinn the other day too. Come on. That's pretty good. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.